happy Family Friday to everybody watching. We are going to be live on the Alabama Museum of Natural History's Facebook page, and I believe we are also going to be live on the Moundville Archaeological Park and Museum's Facebook page. So it looks like we're live on Moundville. So let me head over to the Alabama Museum of Natural History. We're going to just check and make sure we're live on all of our appropriate platforms, all of our intended platforms. So it looks like we're live on the Alabama Museum of Natural History's Facebook page. And we should be live on the UA Museum's YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/UA Museums. So yeah, it looks like we're live there. So you can watch wherever you prefer. If you're a Facebook person, you can watch on Facebook. You've got two places to do that. And you can also watch on YouTube if that is your preferred video platform of choice. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll get into today's live stream. Welcome to today's Museums from Your Home live stream presented by the University of Alabama Museums. My name is Rebecca Johnson, and I'm the Communication Specialist for UA Museums. And today I'm joined by Allie Sorlie, who is the Education Outreach Coordinator at the Alabama Museum of Natural History, and Lindsey Gordon, who is the Education Outreach Coordinator at Moundville Archaeological Park. How's everybody doing today on this Family Friday?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
How are you?
Doing pretty well, doing pretty well. Well, before we get into our topic today, I just want to remind everybody that we are live and broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. So just hang in there with us in case anything happens with connectivity issues or anything like that. It is live and we are on the internet, so that is possible. Hopefully everything will be fine, but just want to put that out there as a reminder. And the benefit of being live here on the internet is that you can communicate with us in real time. So if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section and we will get to them. All right. Well, now that we've gotten some of that business out of the way, how should we get started today?
Well, as you know, we have been on a 4-part series journey. This is going to be with archaeology versus paleontology. And we're going to start out with our little recap from the past couple of weeks. And then at the end of our recap, we're actually going to play a game with you guys. So we hope that you're going to be involved with us. So let's get into the recap of archaeology versus paleontology. See, I keep getting them confused. Allie, keep me straight.
We can do this together.
So again, this is the final part of our 4-part series. You guys have been sticking with us for the past 4 weeks. And we'll start again with anthropology and archaeology. And we talked about before that anthropology is the study of mankind. And it's what we called a 4-field approach. So there's different types or different studies. You can do different studies within the field. And one of them is archaeology. And that is the study of the human past. And within that study, we learn from different things like artifacts, which are things that are human made. We learned about what features are, which are a non-portable artifact, which means like they could be things like house structure, a well, a storage pit, or even a burial. With archaeology, we also learned that it uses the scientific method, which is extremely important. So we excavate things in the test units or squares. We do it very carefully and scientifically with taking notes. And we always label and bag our artifacts so that we will have provenience. That means we know exactly where it's come from. And we look at stratigraphy, which we'll talk about kind of at the end of this presentation a little bit. All of our dirt is screened. We get soil samples. We create maps. We take photographs of everything. We take it to the lab. We do analysis there. We get help from other archaeologists if we don't know anything about certain artifacts, or maybe there's a different soil type or something like that. So we draw experience from other people as well. So that was our little recap for archaeology. And I'm going to throw it to Miss Allie for our paleontology recap.
All right. So as we talked about last week, paleontology is the study of ancient life. And it is originally was a Greek word, but what it's turned into today has turned into paleontology, study of ancient life. Now, paleontologists, they are 2 types of scientists. So a paleontologist has to be both a geologist and a biologist. Paleontology, they study they need to know rocks. They need to know how the rocks form. They need to know natural cycles of the earth, like the weathering and rock cycles and water cycles and things like that, to help understand where they are, what they're looking at. They also have to understand and know climate as well. But as a biologist and the knowledge from biology, they need to know about plants and animal structures and life cycles and growth and reproductive cycles and all those different physiological components. They have to understand all of that so that they can study ancient life. So paleontologists can, like Lindsey was saying, pull from expertise from other people today to learn about the past, and also from animals, plants and animals from today to learn about those in the past. Okay, now they study rocks and sediments. Sediments are the material that's not quite turned into rock just yet. And then the fossils within them to understand the ancient world. So from these rocks and sediments, they can learn the plants and animals that live. They can learn the ecosystems, and that's how those plants and animals interacted with each other. They can understand climate and the age of the rocks that they're looking at. And we'll talk a little bit about one of the ways that ages of rocks can be determined later on. Now, a term that we talked about quite often the last time was fossils. Now, fossils are the remains of ancient life. There's lots of different types of fossils. If you're interested in learning more about the different types of fossils, you can go back to last week's Family Friday that's archived on YouTube and learn about the different types of fossils. But all of them are the remains of ancient life. And yeah, that's great. Okay, so that was kind of our recap for paleontology. Now, one of my, this is like an old school sort of visual representation, but I love them. Parents, you might remember Venn diagrams. I don't know that they're used as often in school today, but they should be because they're amazing and wonderful. So awesome. Venn diagrams, yes, Venn diagrams are a great way to compare two things. Like in our purposes right now, archaeology and paleontology, we can compare them and help determine the things that are uniquely on one side and uniquely on the other, but then where they intersect as well. And so we have our Venn diagram of archaeology and paleontology here. We've already been through the points on the far sides of the circles that are the points that are pretty uniquely for each of those scientific disciplines. But we wanted to talk a little bit about where the intersection comes in. So again, the whole reason that this 4-part series started was that Lindsey and I were talking about how we always meet with lots of people who are really interested in archaeology and paleontology and wanted to learn a little bit more about them. And so as we were talking about these two, we realized that there was kind of a lot in common between the two, even though, content may differ, there was a lot in common. And so some of the things that we found that were in common, now this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but just to get started, some of the ones that we found that were in common were that, they're both utilizing scientific methods to have, as Lindsey was saying before, as much data and as much information as possible about what is being found, and to approach it in a way that is, that you are finding these things as accurately and scientifically, and again, with as much knowledge and information as possible, which is great. We also use similar tools. If you guys want to see that one, our first part, Lindsey and I had this great conversation about the tools that archaeologists and paleontologists use in our first of the series. Do you remember that, Lindsey?
Yeah, that was awesome. I like
great.
my archaeology hat.
Yes. And then we also talked about the importance of notebooks and note-taking. When your teachers say, hey, especially in all subjects, but in science, we got to keep a science notebook, and you think, oh my gosh, I don't want to write anymore. No. It's important. You got to make sure to take notes, because
it's extremely important.
It's extremely important to take notes. You got to, it helps record what you're seeing and what you're working with, and it helps so that you can visit it back again later and know exactly what you were doing and seeing at that moment. And so can other people. Anyway, it's really important. So I know it may seem like it's not something that you want to do, but it's completely and totally important. So keep notebooks. Anyway. We also talked about how there can be, so, archaeology and paleontology tend to study different content and often different time as well, like in like when they study is different, but there is some intersection in those areas of study, and one of them is in the last ice age, because we have ancient life that was involved there, and then also early human. Excuse me. What would you say, Lindsay? Would you agree with that?
I do. Yeah, because those are some of the earliest artifacts are during that last ice age that we encounter as archaeologists are from that last ice age. And so there's evidence of the fact that the early peoples actually hunted some of the like mastodons and things of that nature that appeared during that time.
Yes. And those mastodons and mammoths, there's evidence of their, body fossils or traces of them in fossil form that have been fossilized that paleontologists study and get to know a little bit better through their study. So a nice little intersection over there. And then the last one, this is one that we've talked about quite a bit. We really like this one. I think it's a personal favorite of mine. I don't know, Lindsay, I feel like it might be a personal favorite of yours. Okay. Is the law of superposition. Now, this is one way to sort of date and age what you're looking at in the rocks, but it's not, it's not the only way to do it, and there is some times where things kind of get messed up. But Lindsay has this really incredible visual aid to kind of talk about law of superposition. Do you want to kind of go over it? Because I love this one.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So I love a good sandwich. Okay. I don't know. You might not like, this tomato and cheese sandwich, but you might like peanut butter and jelly. But the law of superposition basically states that, or shows that you put your top layer, which is the youngest layer, which typically is like grass outside. And then you put your tomatoes down, then you put your cheese, and then you have I went backwards. So you put your piece of bread down on your plate first, and then you might add some cheese. Then you might add your tomatoes, and then you add another piece of bread on top to make your sandwich. So the law of superposition states that whatever is furthest down is the oldest layer, and whatever is at the top is the youngest layer. I think I said that right this time. So yeah. I don't know about you, but I am personally I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I put my bread down first, and I don't know about you, but I like to put my peanut butter on before I put my jelly on. And then I put another piece of bread on top. So that's basically that bottom layer of bread is my oldest layer. So that's basically how it works in archaeology as well. We know the further down that we go is usually the older layer. And like typically it's like the grass you see is the youngest layer.
And I mean, sometimes when you have that sandwich, the plate gets knocked or something, and like the layers can kind of get messed up a little bit, and that happens occasionally. But if everything goes according to plan in your sandwich making and or rock layering, sediment layering, you're right. And you can't build a sandwich top down. Like, can you imagine trying to build a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from the top piece of bread down?
Oh my gosh.
Disaster everywhere. So much disaster.
What kind of sandwiches do you like?
Me, I mean, PB&J, you can't go wrong with PB&J, but I'm also a huge peanut butter banana fan.
Oh,
I love peanut butter banana. And this is going to sound so weird. Everyone, it's okay. It's all right, everyone. But I'm a huge fan of cucumber sandwiches too. I know that's so weird, but it's okay.
Well, how would you layer a cucumber sandwich? So you would have your
I would do bread, right? And then I do a little layer of cream cheese. And then a little bit of olive oil, a little bit, and then a little bit of salt and pepper, and then my cucumbers, and then top layer of bread.
Gotcha.
It is delightful. It is the most delicious law of superposition I have ever had.
That sounds amazing. But yeah, so we both use this principle in paleontology and archaeology. And I think it's one of my favorite things.
And who doesn't love just the word superposition, right?
Yeah, it's a great vocabulary word.
Yes.
I think we're getting ready to play. It's almost time for our game, right, Miss Allie?
I think you're right. So yeah, so the all 4-part series have come to this. This is the moment that we can test our knowledge on archaeology and paleontology. So Miss Lindsey and I have several items that we're going to show up to the camera. And for those who are watching with us, if you'd like to play along with us, you can do so by writing your answer in the comments on whatever site that you're watching on, and see if you can play along with us. So the game is pretty simple. Miss Lindsey and I will take turns putting something up to the camera, and your job as viewers are to determine whether or not this item would be studied in the realm of archaeology or would be studied in the realm of paleontology. There is a chance for some tricksiness, but we'll see. Maybe not. But yeah, so if you're watching along with us, go ahead, and as they come up, we'll kind of give some time for answers, and just go ahead and write archaeology or paleontology in the comments where you are, and then we'll reveal the answer in a little bit. What do you think, Miss Lindsey? Are you excited about it?
I am. I'm always excited.
Okay. So this is, I don't know, this is one of the games we started playing at the museum recently, and I love this one. It's fun. Okay.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? I don't mind.
Yeah.
We'll start slow, and we'll do a warm up, and I'll start with an easier one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So is this paleontology or archaeology?
Ooh, that is a good warm up one.
Paleontology or archaeology?
I really like the coloring on that one too. It's beautiful.
I know, it's one of my favorites. It's like,
all right, let's see. I don't know if anyone has, are we seeing any comments come in? There might be a delay though.
Yeah. If not, well, we could just keep going, but
Can I guess?
Yeah,
ooh, what do you think?
Oh, well, we do have, before I guess, we do have some comments now. I think there is a little bit of a delay. So we're getting some archaeology mentions in the comments section. So what is the answer?
You are correct. It is archaeology. This is a Clovis point, the point that was found in the time period that we actually overlap. So it could be, it could actually be both.
High five, everyone.
Good job, guys, for archaeology. So,
okay, you ready for my first one?
I am excited.
Let's start off. I'll start off with, we'll do another warm up for mine too. We'll do one more warm up. We'll be like preheating the oven, and then we'll get to bacon.
Yes, I like bacon.
Oven preheat moment. Okay. Oh, bacon is delicious. Sorry. Okay, that was not the same thing.
Oh.
Can you see it okay?
We'll pull it a little. There we go. Right there.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is this one archaeology or paleontology? Archaeology or paleontology?
Rebecca, do you want to guess?
I would say paleontology. Looks like we've got another paleo guess in here.
Nice.
Paleontology.
Ooh. I think it is. You're right. It's paleontology. Right. These are some fossil ferns from the Coal Age, about 320 million years old, give or take a day or two.
Fossiled ferns? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Oh,
ferns.
cool. That's cool.
Nice. Okay. I think it's your turn, Miss Lindsay.
It's my turn. Okay, so what about this? Is this archaeology or paleontology? So I guess this is on the little my notebook. One of them, because I have like 5.
Because notebooks are important.
Yeah, because notebooks are important.
I did see we had this comment about notebooks when we were talking about them earlier from a coworker and colleague of ours, Pam Sloan, who works with Discovering Alabama, and she was a science teacher for many years, and still is a science teacher. Let's say that. But she talked about how important science journaling is in the comments, and if she says it's important, we know it's definitely important.
It has to be extremely important.
Okay.
So for this one, Rebecca, what do you think?
I think that's related to the Venn diagram. I think that would be in the middle section of our Venn diagram. I think it's both.
Yes, it is.
And paleontology.
It is both, because it's extremely important that we all keep notes. Ain't that right, Miss Pam? It's really important.
You did a tricksy one pretty early. I like it. Getting warm. Okay.
Getting warm.
I think this oven's been preheated. You ready to see?
Let's do it.
You ready for full-on oven heat?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it? Archaeology or paleontology? Archaeology or paleontology? I feel like I'm like a Vanna Whiting.
Yeah, Vanna White.
This is a tough one. Part of me thinks that it's a trick question. But then part of me thinks I know the answer. And I don't know if I want to trick myself into thinking it's a trick question. I guess we'll give commenters a second to see if anybody wants to take a stab at it. My first guess is archaeology. That's
okay,
what I would
good
say.
guess. All right, how are we doing?
I don't know if anybody else has any other thoughts. Archaeology or paleontology? Okay, it looks like we do have an archaeology guess there from Nicholas.
Nice. I think
Got another archaeology.
we'll go ahead and answer. Yes. Excellent job, everyone. Archaeology.
Good job, everybody.
Another high five.
All right. So now I have one.
Okay.
Is this archaeology or paleontology? Trying to do a better job of showing you guys. Archaeology or paleontology?
That's a good one. I like that one. I like the color. I just like that all of these items that we're showing have such great difference in coloration too. I don't know why that's the first thing I'm going to, but it's something I'm noticing off the bat.
Looks like we got some guesses.
Oh, we do.
And they are correct. It is paleontology. Good job, everybody.
That was an oyster shell.
Yeah.
Nice job,
A
everyone.
fossilized one.
Yes, fossilized one. All right. I've got another good one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. There he goes. It's really hard for me to get this camera working for me today, or like just to understand where the where the camera is. All right. If we were to find one of these out in the world, would we say archaeology or paleontology? I can't get it to focus. I'm sorry. Can you still kind of see it okay, Miss Lindsay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. It's not focusing great.
So yeah, we have a guess, and they guessed archaeology.
Definitely archaeology. Good job, everyone.
Good job, guys.
As much as we would love ancient life to be dapperly dressed with buttons and tails, fortunately, the creatures of old were not so good at the sewing of the buttons. All right.
Let's see. What do I have next? Oh, this might blind you if I'm not careful. Archaeology or paleontology? What do you guys think? Archaeology or paleontology? You see that?
That's a good one.
Trying not to blind people.
It's a whole science lesson in and of itself.
Could I get a hint as to what that is? I'm not sure that I know what that tool is.
Is a compass.
Okay.
I'm trying to turn it to north, but hold on, because I'm not holding it right. Oh, that's cute. North is directly pointed at you guys from my direction.
Aww.
This is a compass.
All right, we got a guess for both, Miss Lindsay.
Yes, it is for both. Because archaeologists and paleontologists both have to know where we're going. So we use it for our maps and all kinds of great stuff. So both.
Can we say that that's also a tool for life in general to know where you're going? All right. Okay, I've got one. You ready?
Yes. You know, I'm like so excited.
Archaeology or paleontology? Archaeology or paleontology? It looks, I don't know, I think it looks like a couple of different things, but archaeology or paleontology?
Someone guessed paleontology.
Nice job. All right, so this particular one right now is paleontology. However, this could be in that intersection in our Venn diagram, because this is a mammoth tooth. This is not an actual mammoth. Sorry.
Oh.
It's not? I'm so disappointed. Yeah. It's not an actual mammoth.
Wait, hang on. Let me see if I can do this Jurassic Park style. Did it work? Did you feel like you were in Jurassic Park? Or in Pleistocene Park? Did you feel like you're in Pleistocene Park?
I was singing the royalty-free version of the Jurassic Park theme song in my head. Is that one across the screen?
This is, wait, I have to remember how it goes. The royalty-free Pleistocene Park. That's not how it goes, but that's how ours goes now. Sorry, everyone. I will work on my singing career later. But yeah, so this is a mammoth molar. Now the reason this could, eventually get to be an intersection one is because, as Lindsay was saying before, early humans did have contact with mammoths and interacted, usually to the mammoth's detriment. But so archaeologists can study some mammoth remains, and then paleontologists study mammoth remains as well. Okay, so that was everything. It kind of looks like a boot print a little bit if you look at it, but it is not a boot print.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But isn't that a mammoth? Big Al's like great grandfather. How many more do I have?
2 more. Great. Absolutely. Grandma and Grandpa for Big Al. A lot of people like to ask, why Alabama has an elephant for a mascot. And there's some great stories at the Bryant, once the museums are open again and safe to go to. There's some really wonderful stories at the Bryant Museum that talk about, how elephants came to be associated with the University of Alabama. But at the Natural History Museum, we like to say it's because we had 3 species of elephant relatives alive in Alabama in the Ice Age. And one of them is a mammoth.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right.
Do we have maybe one more each? What do you think?
Yeah, one more each.
Okay.
So what about this? Paleontology. Oh, there we go. Or archaeology. Oh, there we go. Paleontology or archaeology.
It's hard to find the focus and where the camera is.
Paleontology or archaeology.
What are you thinking, Miss Rebecca?
It looks like we do have maybe a guess here in the comment section. I don't know. I'm conflicted on this one.
Yeah?
Because wasn't like I don't know if the Ice Age part of the Venn diagram comes into play, and because I'm not sure exactly what time period this would have come from. So I'm not sure. My first instinct is paleontology, but I don't know if this intersects with both. That's where my conflict in my answer comes from. But we do have some guesses for paleontology. So that's my first instinct.
That is correct because it is a shark's tooth.
It is. It is a goblin tooth.
Yeah, a lot of those can be found at Harrell Station.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which Absolutely. Is the paleontological site, which is a very hard word to say, paleontological site at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, it is. And like, it's like a whole other world out there. It just looks so different. Okay, ready for the last one for me?
Yes.
Okay, I have to go over here. Give me 1 second.
That is extremely large. That is so cool. Paleontology versus archaeology.
Paleontology or archaeology? It kind of, the way I'm holding it makes it feel like a guitar. It is not a guitar. Any guesses? What are we thinking? Archaeology or paleontology?
We got some paleo guesses.
Miss Lindsay, do you have a guess? I don't think she knew I was bringing this up.
It has to be paleo. Lord, that is extremely large. What is it?
It is paleontology. You're right. So this is a casting of a footprint from a dino footprint. That's a cast. Cool. Yeah, that we use in our teaching collections, but paleontology for sure.
Good golly, Miss Molly, that's a large casting.
I can't. I ran into a wall. It doesn't work.
Did you want me to go one more time, or are we done with the game?
Do you have one more that you want to do?
Sure, we'll try this one.
Okay.
Paleontology versus archaeology. Oh. Paleontology versus archaeology. This one's a little bit.
I have a guess. I think I might know what it is. Miss Rebecca, what are you thinking?
This is a tough one because part of it sort of looks like maybe it's a fossil, but then part of me is like, is that pottery? Is that what are those lines? Like that's what I can't figure out. that would determine my answer, I guess. I guess if I was going to go with my first instinct, I would say archaeology.
It is.
Okay. Yay!
So it is it's a piece of ceramic. So these little lines that you're talking about, they're like impressions. So imagine people talk about stamped pottery, so that when it's clay, when it's wet, you're able to make an imprint on it. So that's basically what that is. I'm trying to get it close so you guys can see it.
I think Miss Lindsay I think I have a piece of it too, or a piece of pottery, right? Or ceramic. There's some imprints there. Is this a piece of ceramic as well, Miss Lindsay?
Yeah,
the archaeology
of ceramic as well, and it looks like it's turn it on its back, turn it over. There we go. Yeah, because you see, like that's either where it's been cooked or painted. I can't tell from here, but
this right here.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't really tell.
It's cooked. And then look, it's got this neat.
Yeah, a little design at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, when pottery is wet, you can make it put designs and stuff in it. So, and it lasts obviously for a very long time. And that's how archaeologists are able to identify different pottery types as well.
Again, as much as we want mammoths to be good at pottery, they were not adept at making it. All right.
Well, I think that's all we have, isn't it?
Thank
for
you
today.
Everyone for helping us and answering in the comments and interacting with us on this game. I hope you enjoyed it. We loved it a lot. I think I could speak for both of us, maybe, Ms. Lindsay.
We're good.
But yeah, if this was something that you loved today, there are 3 more parts to our 4-part series that are in the archives. And I also highly recommend that you check out different Discovering Alabama videos and episodes that have to deal with archaeology and paleontology. There are quite a few. You can find them at discoveringalabama.org. But yeah, anything else, Ms. Lindsay?
Oh yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. And I hope that you go back and look at our videos and use them for any tools that you might need. If you would visit all of our resources from Discovering Alabama to Museum of Natural History to Moundville at the website that's on the screen, the Museums from Your Home. There's a bunch of teaching resources for you guys, and there's just a bunch of videos and resources in general that we hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, and if you want to keep up with all the video content like we were talking about, a good way to do that is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you can go to youtube.com/UAmuseums. All of our live streams will be there in a playlist, which is very convenient. And you'll get notified anytime we go live. And you'll be able to see our isolation observation videos. You'll get to see Lindsay's Moundville Monday videos there. So that's a good way to keep up with us there. And if you like what we are doing here and you want to support UA Museums, the Alabama Museum of Natural History or Moundville Archaeological Park, you can go to give.ua.edu/museums. That's a great way to support UA Museums and everything that we're doing with our programming. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this live stream. And thank you both for guiding us through archaeology and paleontology the last couple of weeks and for that really fun game that really tested my ability to differentiate between the two. So thank you for doing that for us today. Well, and thank you for everybody who was watching this morning and everybody who's going to watch in the future. And thank you for visiting UA Museums from your home. Happy Family Friday, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.